Well, from time to time I come across an espalier plant that is quite interesting, and this is a plant that's been taken care of by the homeowner, and it's on its way to being quite nice. This is an apple. It's golden delicious, and it is set up with multiple layers. You've got a layer down here, and you've got a layer in here, and a layer up here. And they're also a little bit of a start up through the middle. They may want to create another layer up there if it works that way. Now, what a lot of people don't understand when you're dealing with an espalier is there's a lot of work involved, and it's really hard to hire out the maintenance of a plant like this because it requires somebody to look at it often. You have to get in there and do some snips almost monthly. But if you understand it, they can be a lot of fun. They can really evolve into something beautiful. Now, this plant is fruiting, and there's a couple of things going on that are a bit of a problem. You've got this being supported by these wires, and the wires are actually digging in, and you've got a point where it's actually bending, and there's a lot of weight right there. So that has exceeded the level of the espalier. What they need to do is they need to put a post in over there and a post in over here and continue the training form. It's got to be more than just this wrought iron fencing. Now that's beautiful, but at some point you have to say, I'm going to keep it contained to the fence, or I'm going to extend it. Now when it comes to the fruit development, most people don't want to lose their fruit. So they just let it kind of keep growing and growing and growing. It's at a point now where they have to make a decision. If it breaks, it's no big deal, but there's a couple things going on. The wires that they've got in here are going to start to dig in. This one's already digging in. I can see that this area right here, it needs to be loosened up. It's going to get up inside this plant here, and you can see the marks. I don't know if you can see that, but it's already at the point where that's going to cause this plant to get completely cut off right here. It'll strangle it. And each of these little tiny wires, they have to be maintained in such a way where somebody pays attention. If you've got branches that go behind structures, you can see that this branch doesn't have very long to live over here. You can't tuck them in behind things. You have to pull them up and out, so everything is growing on the outside. Unfortunately, this one down here is also growing behind the structure. So these right here, they need to be loosely tied to the support structure. All these things that are going behind need to be pulled out. The branches that are growing up need to continue to be trained, and when you pinch them, then they send out two. And the side ones are the branches that can be pulled up and growing in the formation that you're trying to achieve. Now, this being an apple tree is susceptible to fire blight, so that's another reason that you have to constantly keep up on it. So 5 minutes effort on this would make it perfect. Now around the corner here, he's got a small pear, and there's a lot of problems with this pear. It's got some nice pears on it, a few of them, but you can see the first signs of fire blight that was a result of this old cut right here, and it's working its way down. So the fire blight is going to cause this plant to die back from here up. I'm not a real advocate of pears for espalier because they are so sensitive to the fire blight. You can see this top piece up here. There's the blackening that you've got. This whole branch, that's the fire blight, and it works its way down, and there's a lot of blackening. So you really have to keep up on it. So somebody's put in a lot of effort into trying to keep things straight and keep things in check. But you know, it is what it is. I wouldn't give up on it, but I don't have a whole lot of hope for it either. So if you've got a hankering to try espalier, don't leave it to your gardener. You got to do it yourself. Okay, I just realized I made kind of a negative comment there about gardeners. And, you know, there's probably a gardener out there that could do espalier. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's somebody that's super capable. I just haven't met them yet. So forgive me if it sounded like I was blasting anybody who is capable of doing espalier. And if you do, hey, more power to you. Keep it up. Thanks.